Number 1. Absence of social open doors. Valuable open doors. A considerable lot of us feel alone and detached on the grounds that we don't have many opportunities to communicate with others. This can, without much of a stretch, lead to sensations of sadness and forlornness. However, emotionlessness advises us that each challenge is an opportunity to meet new individuals and make new companions. So the question is, how might we apply this way of thinking to our absence of social communication open doors in life? We should ponder how we can do that. Face segregation. Is it actually an issue, or can we use it as a method for developing as individuals? Not having the option to converse with others isn't continuously an imperfection, however an opportunity to study ourselves, gain new abilities and care for our psyche's. Aloofness trains us to track down joy and harmony inside ourselves, as opposed to depending on what's happening around us. This doesn't mean we ought to simply acknowledge our dejection and make an effort not to transform it. Rather, we ought to search for and make the most of each and every opportunity to interface with individuals around us. We can begin by getting on the web, assembles with individuals who share our inclinations, arranging or going to little occasions, or simply being amicable with our collaborators and neighbors. The inquiry is whether we are prepared to confront and move beyond our shortcomings to account for new and significant connections. As Seneca, another unemotional savant, said to be cherished love in any circumstance. Having the option to cherish and open up to others is the way to opening new entryways and moving beyond the obstructions of disengagement and an absence of correspondence. Open doors, that is the quintessence of carrying on with a daily existence, where we figure out how to appreciate and look for significance in each association. Life is brimming with difficulties and open doors. In some cases, these progressions can cause us to feel like all that we knew has evaporated, yet they additionally allow us the opportunity to rediscover ourselves, see as our internal strength, and continue to develop. We should discuss how to embrace change and use it for our potential benefits. There are many justifications for why social choices can be restricted in the current world. Living in a city, utilizing innovation to convey and having a parcel of work and individual commitments can all cause you to feel alone. This absence of social contact can cause individuals to feel alone, anxious and detached from others. We can track down ways of managing these issues and keep our by concentrating on the Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius. Getting used to reality. Marcus Aurelius let us know that we ought to be good with things we can't change. Acknowledge that the status quo now at your public activity and center around what you can adjust. You control your perspective, not what occurs in the outside world. Know this and you will be solid. Being careful and present, being right now, can assist facilitate the pressure that accompanies not having numerous social possibilities. Completely take part in anything that you're doing, whether you're doing it by without help from anyone else or with others. Online, lock yourself in the present, said the speaker. Being free, utilize this chance to develop your inward assets and capacity to depend on yourself. Track down exercises, abilities and leisure activities that you can appreciate without anyone else. Quote, the main thing you want to make your life blissful is to alter the manner in which you think, making companions in nearly nothing ways. Search for little ways of associating with others, regardless of whether they aren't common social circumstances. It can go far to offer something pleasant to a neighbor or a close buddy. Men exist for one another, then show them or set up with them. Contemplate nature, invest energy in nature to feel like you're essential for an option that could be greater than yourself. Nature can help you unwind and recollect that there is a greater world out there than simply your own concerns. Look profoundly into nature and afterward you'll comprehend all that better. By following these apathetic standards, you can remain mentally collected and solid in any event. Whenever you don't have numerous social possibilities, recollect that our tranquility of brain did not depend on what's going on or around us, yet on how we respond to it. Number 2, changing circumstances. Number 2, evolving circumstances. Change will happen like the never-ending wheel of destiny. We frequently wind up in various circumstances such as work and everyday environment, endlessly changes in private connections, so as one of the incredible apathetic masterminds, Marcus Aurelius, said, "Acknowledge all that happens, regardless of whether you like it." Since it prompts this, yet how might we utilize this exhortation when things change? Particularly when those changes mean losing companions in the event that you move to another city. Furthermore, don't know anybody there, you could feel desolate and awkward at first, yet this is likewise an opportunity to leave your safe place, meet new individuals, and make significant associations. When you leave your place of refuge, you're not only searching for companions, you're likewise hoping to develop as an individual. In addition to the fact that change is hard, it's an opportunity to venture out. Have you at any point felt that when you lose a companion, you find a piece of yourself when you're without anyone else? You could track down new leisure activities and interests and figure out how to be more autonomous. Changes in connections could imply that you are developing and finding out about the world and yourself. So how might we use these progressions to work on ourselves and our connections? Recall that the universe is our instructor, and we can adjust and gain from each insight by inviting change with an open heart. We make new companions as well as find the internal strength, versatility, urge to confront any test on our next life excursion as life brings us down new ways. Each adjustment of conditions isn't simply a challenge, however an opportunity. At first, not having any companions might appear to be an issue, yet it's in reality an opportunity to become solid, free and prepared for new connections. This moment is the opportunity to let our hearts open, investigate what your identity is, and search for genuine, profound kinships. Through these associations we can develop and assist each other with wanting to find out about times when your life changed and how you found strength and new kinships. Kindly offer your story in the remarks beneath. It could help other people who are carrying on with comparable things. Life just stays the equivalent when you change, whether it's a new position, a transition to a better place, or something that surfaces suddenly. Our prosperity and true serenity rely upon how well we can deal with and conform to new circumstances. Marcus Aurelius, an indifferent savant, has enduring guidance on the best way to remain mentally collected. Areas of strength for and things change. This illustration will show you how to remain cool and unemotional when things change in your life. Comprehend that everything changes. The principal thought is that everything changes. Comprehend that life changes constantly, meaning Marcus or is worried that all that in life is brief. Comprehension that both great and terrible times are fleeting can help us be less joined to the present and more open to change. Notice continually that all things happen by change, and acclimate yourself to consider that the idea of the universe adores nothing to such an extent as to change. Focus on whatever might be possible. Change significant points. Sort out what you have some control over and what you can't. Apathy advises us to zero in on our own decisions and considerations rather than what's occurring in the rest of the world. We can maintain an even mind and do our best when we center around how we respond to change rather than the actual change. You control your psyche, not what occurs in the rest of the world. Know this and you will be solid. Acknowledge change as an opportunity to get better. Recall that change is an opportunity to improve and develop. There are challenges that accompany change, however there are additionally risks. To develop as an individual, change can assist us with developing, assuming that we think about it that way. This will assist us approach new circumstances with interest and strength. The thing that prevents individuals from acting pushes things ahead. What disrupts the general flow transforms into the manner in which spotlight us on being careful and introduce significant know and present in each second. Care assists us with keeping our feet on the ground. When things are transforming, we can have a less restless outlook on the future and appreciate the present time and place more, assuming that we center around the present and completely partake in our Current encounters bind yourself to the present. Figure out how to be appreciative and tolerating. Pause for a minute to see the value in what you have and be available to what comes your way. Being appreciative changes our consideration from what we don't need to what we truly do have, which cheers us up. Acknowledgement, then again, implies perceiving reality without battling everything. Manage change in a quiet and serene manner. Number 3, bashfulness or being modest. Inner directedness. For some individuals who mingle, we actually need to be social creatures. Disarray about sharing without being timid or contemplation frequently seems to be an obstruction in this excursion. However, we should change the text, as one of the extraordinary logicians, Marcus Aurelius, once unemotionally said that you have the power. Your brain that isn't beyond occasions. Know this, and you will acquire strength. And how might we apply this way of thinking now to change bashfulness and partake? Consider a particular model. The tip-top prefer to invest energy understanding, reasoning and composing. Partake at large social occasions or gatherings in the present uproarious world. This quietness is desolate, not really for living, but rather for the first class. To share their contemplations and activities opens the entryway, as well as is an encouragement to profoundly interface with oneself and your general surroundings to their spirits, yet in addition constructs a reasonable relationship in light of understanding and regard. Yet how might we beat the trepidation? Furthermore, uneasiness that noteworthy and sharing can bring along. The response is love and self-esteem. Not the quantity of companions is significant, yet the nature of connections. As we start to construct ourselves and our self-assurance, we open a group of profound kinships. In light of shared regard and normal qualities, timidity or mental state, if you look carefully, can be a great asset. Improvement of individual and family building is suggestive in and of the expressions of Marcus Aurelius. Let us look forward and find our inward power and use it as a solid starting point for deliberate connections, so that disgrace or contribution isn't a piece of us, however a extension to a more profound comprehension of the world and individuals around us. In some cases, we wind up in thought on the bigger material of life. We get ourselves meandering in a tempest of lost feelings. Yet have you at any point considered how to find a desert garden of harmony for the spirit? Might the emotionless way of thinking that holds the key at some point be the one to open the entryway? How about we find the force of unemotional way of thinking in the fourth illustration of serenity, which assists us with taking care of our psychological issues tranquilly and ideally. Number 4, well-being of the brain. Marcus Aurelius, quite possibly of the best. Number 4, soundness of the psyche. Thinkers and popular Stoics discussed the opportunity of the soul and said that the bliss of your life relies upon the nature of your viewpoints. So how do we develop such considerations, particularly when we feel alone or desolate? The response lies in rehearsing these 3 primary thoughts. Restraint, acknowledgement and much appreciated discretion isn't just about controlling your sentiments when things turn out badly. It additionally implies being profoundly mindful of how you respond when you have no connections. For instance, when you're desolate, do you utilize that opportunity to more deeply study yourself? Do you attempt to sort out what causes you to feel as such and how that influences your decisions and activities? All right with that. Another guideline isn't tied in with surrendering, it's tied in with tolerating and embracing your reality. This implies perceiving that being desolate at the present time is a piece of developing as an individual. Have you at any point wondered, why do I feel desolate? What could I at any point gain from this feeling? Ultimately, thanksgiving is one of the most integral assets and unemotional can utilize weapon store regardless of what. Zeroing in on what we are thankful for provides us with another feeling of certainty and mental strength. Have you set aside some margin to contemplate what you are appreciative for each day? We can't make a huge difference that happens to us, yet we can change how we respond to it. Not having any companions doesn't mean you'll be desolate. It can assist your emotional wellness with tracking down a significant and cheerful life. One must first find themselves, recollect that we generally have the decision of how to live, so how about we utilize that power? We should remark if. Example for showed you something yourself practice appreciation. Similarly, as significant as taking care of your body is dealing with your brain or psyche that is in balance. Serious areas of strength 4 is adaptable and ready to deal with life's hindrances easily, and lucidity in different scholars, particularly Marcus Aurelius, showed immortal illustrations on the most proficient method to accomplish and keep up with emotional well-being. By following in different thoughts, we can prepare our psyches to be quiet and not be impacted by the mayhem around us. Control how you see things. Marcus Aurelius said that our contemplations and convictions figure out what is genuine. It's not simply the occasions that annoy us, yet our opinion on them. When we change how we see things, we can change how we feel. Application: know about your thoughts and sentiments and battle them. Inquire as to whether the manner in which you see what is happening is right, or on the other hand, in the event that it's slanted by decisions can change. Stoics stress the significance of sorting out what we have some control over and what we can't. We can keep our internal harmony by zeroing in on the things we can change, like our contemplations, activities, and reactions. How to use: record the things in your day-to-day existence that you would be able and can't change. Move your consideration toward the things you can change and relinquish the things you can't. Envisioning terrible things can help you. This emotionless activity includes imagining the most pessimistic scenario situations to prepare your psyche for whatever could happen. We can have a less restless outlook on the obscure and be thankful for what we have. By doing this, how to utilize consistently require a couple of moments to picture issues or misfortunes that could happen. This exercise can assist you with turning out to be stronger and stay calm when things get intense. Foster a demeanor of thanksgiving. The Roman sovereign Marcus Aurelius frequently contemplated the beneficial things in his day-to-day existence. Being thankful changes our consideration from what we don't have need to what we really do have, which makes us feel significantly better and quiet. How to involve squarely in an appreciation book. Record 3 things you're grateful for each day. This strategy can cause you to feel much improved and more serene all around. Acknowledge that change is a piece of life. The possibility of emotionlessness is that change is an ordinary piece of life. There's no point in harming when you battle change. Tolerating it brings harmony. Application: remind yourself frequently that everything is transitory rather than seeing change as a danger to security. Consider it to be an opportunity to develop. You can foster a quiet areas of strength 4, and by following these emotionless thoughts in your day-to-day existence, generally remember that emotional wellness is something you do constantly. It gets more grounded with ordinary practice and cautious treatment, very much like some other muscle. Follow Marcus Aurelius and other apathetic scholars and handle life's concerns with quiet and. Number 5. Trust issues. Certainty. Number 5. Trust issues in apathetic way of thinking, which is brimming with immortal insight. We are given apparatuses to construct and keep up with this establishment. Yet, how would we utilize this in our regular daily existences? Previously, we should discuss trust in companionship. Trust isn't dependably simple. It takes acknowledgement, understanding, and some of the time absolution. As Seneca said, nobody can live joyfully who just thinks often about himself and turns everything into his very own issue. Utility in fellowships. We want to acknowledge our companions for what their identity is: imperfections, and all are not set unreasonable assumptions for them. Second, it requires investment and work to fabricate and keep certainty by being mindful and open to change our connections, and we change over the long run. A significant inquiry to pose to ourselves is: am I prepared to acknowledge and adjust to both my own and my companions' changes? Companions. Apathy instructs us that the just thing we have some control over is the means by which we answer the progressions in our lives. Third, and perhaps above all, is the worth of open correspondence and the balance among talking and listening. Correspondence isn't trying to say what we Think and feel. It's additionally attempting to comprehend and answer what others think and feel. Marcus Aurelius said that the nature of your viewpoints decides your satisfaction. This equilibrium in correspondence assists work with trusting as well as fortifies the relationship. Presently ask yourself, have I truly tuned in and attempted to comprehend my companion? Am I ready to impart my contemplations and sentiments to them? These are significant stages in building trust, as well as urgent strides toward valid harmony and joy. So trust, and it's not only an objective to be companions, it's a cycle. An excursion isn't just about making companions, it's likewise about improving. Recall that each battle is an opportunity to learn, develop, and get further. We should share this excursion together, form trust, and make connections that mean something and last. As of late, we saw how trust issues can show weariness and autonomy in our lives according to the perspective of indifferent way of thinking. However, before we continue on to talking about contrasts in inclinations and how they make every individual novel, we might want to thank you for observing. Your help is vital to us, so kindly continue to watch, like, and offer this video to look into the way of thinking of self-control and how it applies to our day-to-day existences. Currently number 6, having